What if Earth was lost? What if humanity was defeated by the Covenant? How would a human race continue? Infinity. Halo has an impressive array of Starship designs, whether we're talking about the sleek design aesthetic of the Covenant Armada or the rustic and bolted together UNSC fleet. There are always some fantastic designs found on the battlefield. But what about Halo's most powerful starship for the UNSC? Why? That one is special, even if it apparently was defeated in under 5 minutes, which we'll get to in this video, don't worry.
If those freaks want to meet God, it's our duty to help them along.
Hello, I'm Captain Jack and welcome to the Hangar Bay. On this channel, we take a deep dive into the best starships, technology, and more from your favourite sci-fi universes. Today, we're talking about the UNSC Infinity, an Infinity-class supercarrier that was seen as humanity's last resort in the Halo video game universe. If Earth was to fall to the benevolent alien force known as the Covenant, the UNSC Infinity would be used to house a mobile colony to guarantee the continuance of human civilization. But what do we know about the ship? Remember, for the latest videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Let us know what you think of the ship in the comments section below. Constructed in secret, the Infinity is one of the largest vessels ever developed by the United Nations Space Command, or UNSC for short. Specification-wise, an Infinity-class supercarrier would come in at 5,694.2 meters long. It was 883 meters in width and 1,041.2 meters in height. The Starship was powered by an XR2 boggling-fueled S81 XDFR engine, that's a mouthful. This was a highly advanced type of fusion drive, serving as the primary sublight engine for Infinity. While the majority of human fission drives are deuterium in nature, the S81X DFR is actually classed as a repulsor engine. The engine module alone took 15 years to complete. The hull of the Infinity class was made up of titanium A3 battle plate, which measured at 4.9 meters thick. Once the Infinity was redesignated as a military vessel, the supercarrier's armament was improved. The Starship sported 4 CR-03 magnetic accelerator cannons on her bow, which were eventually upgraded in the year of 2258. 350 Archer missile pods, 250 M75 Rapier pods, and 500 M96 Howler pods. There were also 830 M965 Fortress 70mm guns on board. Aiding in defense and offense, the ship also used 10 Mark II 551 MAC network guns, along with 85 M85 anti-aircraft guns, which were combined with 190 M97 guided missile weapon systems, all networked together. To finish it off, Infinity was able to carry several Havoc tactical nuclear weapons, commonly found on most UNSC vessels. Infinity was designed and constructed using Covenant and Forerunner technology. For example, the ship was one of the first UNSC vessels to possess energy shielding, thanks to extensive reverse engineering of Covenant shielding technology. Faster than light travel is provided by the Mark X Macedonian prototype H slipstream drive. This is actually a Forerunner design and origin. Unfortunately, the design was not compatible with UNSC standard power and data feed, meaning a series of engine module interlinks were fitted. The UNSC Infinity would undergo a refit in the year of 2258. During this time, several systems were upgraded. The major refit also included replacement of several non-essential systems, as well as some redesigns of the hull. Complement-wise, the Infinity could support just under 20,000 personnel. This included, but was not limited to, around 8,900 Navy personnel, 5,400 UNSC Marines, 750 ODSTs, 1,700 ONI agents, 480 civilian United Earth government personnel, 8 Hergog workers, and 24 Swords of Sanghelios members. Infinity also housed hundreds of Spartan 4s, mainly on an S-deck, which is where the Spartan equipment and operations were coordinated from. To accommodate the large crew size, Infinity was almost completely self-sufficient. Infinity could facilitate mass deployment of vehicles and support craft. Supercarrier had 275 Cat-1 primary bays, 142 Cat-2 secondary bays, and 108 Cat-3 material deployment bays. This was aided by 10 Cat-8 sub-vessel deployment bays. Each would carry a Strident-class heavy frigate or an Atlas-class light frigate. It meant Infinity could deploy its own mini battle group to aid in battles and situation control. The supercarrier also carried numerous ground and aerial vehicles for deployment. These included M510 Mammoths, M12 Warthogs, M820 Scorpions, as well as broadsword fighters, D79 TC Pelicans, sabers, longswords, and then also drop pods for equipment and personnel deployment to planetary surfaces. By the 2540s, humanity's war with the Covenant was not going well. It never really had been. Hundreds of United Nations Space Command vessels and colonies had been lost to the malevolent force of the Covenant war machine. Worrying that the end of humanity might come about in the coming decade, the UNSC and the Office of Naval Intelligence initiated Project Ouroboros. This project operated in several pillars. First was the research and development that resulted in the construction of the UNSC Infinity. It was conceived to prevent extinction. The Infinity was originally designed and intended to be a mobile colony. In the event of a loss of Earth, it would carry survivors to distant stars. While the loss of Earth was abruptly the worst case scenario, the mounting pressure of the insurrection, threat of a Covenant or some other catastrophe, all the more warranted Infinity's development. Due to the potential impact on UNSC morale, the Infinity was built in secret. This proved to be a challenge. As such, only decided to keep workers permanently stationed there over several years. A total communications blackout was in effect. This did not stop the ship's massive building expenditure from drawing attention from others. For example, Rear Admiral Sidi Chakif of the UNSC procurement was made aware of the ship's existence. UNSC Fleet Command eventually took over control of Infinity, rather than Oni. Captain Andrew Del Rio was placed in command of the ship. One of Infinity's first major events was a field test. While under the inspection of Fleet Admiral Terence Hood and Oni CNC Margaret Paranowski, the ship was deployed to Sanghelios, the elite homeworld. The Arbiter, Felvin Dam, was under attack from a rogue sect known as the Servants of Abiding Truth. Infinity would arrive over Sanghelios and fire a 4 Mac gun on the position of the Sangheli insurgent forces. All were destroyed, and the test made Infinity ready for official duties. The UNSC Infinity was officially commissioned into service in February 21st, 2557. Publicly, the ship was refocused as going on missions of peace and exploration. The first missions was for Infinity to find and locate the remaining Halo arrays, and successfully decommission the ring worlds from ever being used again. Through this, the crew eventually learned of a forerunner shield world of Requiem. Infinity made haste to its location. On approach to Requiem, Infinity picked up the distress call of the UNSC Forward Unto Dawn, which held the missing in action Spartan 117, the Master Chief, and the AI Cortana. Infinity moved in to attempt a rescue, but the ship's control systems were hijacked by an ancient warrior known as the Didact. The ship was caught in the gravity well of a shield world and dragged into a crash landing. The Master Chief teamed up with Commander Lasky and proceeded to work on fighting off Covenant and Promethean warriors who had boarded the ship. Captain Del Rio ordered the Chief and Gypsy Company to find and neutralize a network of particle cannons, which were keeping Infinity busy, as well as find and destroy the gravity well generator that was keeping the Supercarrier inside the shield world. The Chief and Captain Del Rio disagreed over handling of the situation, and Infinity soon departed for Earth to report to Fleet Command, leaving the Chief alone to deal with the Didact. Abandoning the Master Chief cost Andrew Del Rio command of the Infinity. Upon the return to Earth, he was relieved of command and Lasky was promoted to captain. The Didact would attempt to attack Earth, in which Infinity attempted to stop it, but did little damage. Following resolution of the attack, Infinity would undergo resupply and prepared to head back to Requiem for a second tour. This was much more successful, even though the ship almost fell into the shield world once again. During her second time around in Requiem, the ship located many new locations on the shield world, while also combating the Covenant remnant forces of Jul Mandama. Infinity would receive Dr. Catherine Halsey via prisoner transport, who would help the ship get unstuck from the gravity well once again. Unfortunately, Halsey was kidnapped when the ship was boarded by Prometheans, which was a ploy for Jul Mandama to capture her. Requiem was set on a collision course with the Sun, but thankfully Infinity managed to escape, but the shield world was lost. For the rest of 2558, Infinity would play a host of peace talks and various other missions. It would later deal with a rising threat of the Forerunner Guardians waking up around the galaxy. Infinity was present at Earth when a Guardian entered the system and initiated its EMP, taking out Earth's fleet and defenses. Thanks to Captain Lasky's quick thinking, the ship was able to jump to slip space and escape. As such, this made the Infinity the last known active vessel that had not been hit by a Guardian. Yes, technically the UNSC Spirit of Fire kinda counts, but you know. In 2559, the Infinity was dispatched to Installation 07 to eliminate the rogue Cortana. Infinity would arrive at the Halo installation on December 12th. Unfortunately, the ship came under immediate attack. Caught by surprise, the ship sustained heavy damage within the first minute, suffering multiple hull breaches. The faction, known as the Banished, used their dreadnoughts to overwhelm Infinity and breach her defenses. The ship was eventually boarded by the Banished leader, Atriox, and his forces. With the battle going poorly for the UNSC, Captain Lasky ordered an immediate evacuation and was escorted to the hangar bay by Spartan Fireteam Taurus and John 117. Lasky departed the ship while ordering all remaining crew to evacuate. As he left, Infinity was rammed by a Banished dreadnought, causing severe damage to the hull. John 117 would engage Atriox in the hangar bay and ultimately lose the fight, being flung into space. While the Master Chief would recover and several UNSC landing parties made it to the surface for Installation 07, the Infinity was missing. Survivors of the crew believe it to be destroyed, while others claim it had gone missing. No official information exists. Banished Commander Estrom would claim the Infinity was defeated in only 4 minutes. As of 2559, the UNSC Infinity, the bastion of humanity, was no more. When Halo was transferred from video game developer Bungie to 343 Industries, the new installment of Halo 4 demanded a new warship to show the evolution of humanity, following the Human Covenant War. As such, the UNSC Infinity was designed. The ship plays a major role in both Halo 4 and Halo 5 Guardians. The campaigns deal with the ship quite a lot. Even the game's multiplayer sometimes takes place on Infinity's war game simulator. Halo 4 Spartan Ops, an episodic cooperative campaign released after Halo 4, took place on the UNSC Infinity, and expanded the storyline of a Starship. Infinity would also go on to play a major role in Halo Initiation and the Halo Escalation comic book series by Dark Horse. The whereabouts and fate of the Infinity is up for debate as of Halo Infinite's release. A Game Informer article stated that the Infinity had suffered a devastating destructive crash on the surface of Zeta Halo. However, the ship was never mentioned in-game as having crashed. Echo 216 was never able to locate the Supercarrier, and many others consider the Infinity missing. Therefore, all of this casts major doubt on the true fate of the Infinity. Early concept artwork did show the Infinity crashing onto Zeta Halo, as well as the Master Chief standing on an asteroid looking at Infinity's crash site. It is possible that the original storyline for the ship was that it did crash, but when Halo Infinite's story and development changed, the idea was scrapped, hence the concept artwork. We would like to consider the ship is lost in space, perhaps one day scheduled to return in a new storyline. That's the end of this video. I've been Captain Jack in the Hangar Bay. Remember, let us know what you think of the UNSC Infinity down below in the comment section. Remember, if you're talking about science fiction, we want to hear about it.